All right, guys, welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about something very, very close to my heart. We're going to talk about the king of crypto. That's right. We're going to talk about Bitcoin because you are not nearly bullish enough, and everybody mostly is wrong about what they're talking about. And importantly, of course, it wouldn't be a show without talking about the best altcoins to be looking at right now, the narratives, and where to find the best gains. So if you guys are excited for that, if you're excited for the calls that we've been making, like the insane 10x that we did overnight, essentially last Friday, if you're excited for that, go ahead and do us all a favor and destroy that like button. And if you're new to the channel, what's up? My name is Chasse. Welcome. You're late, but you're not too late to the party because we're just getting started, guys. Let's dive into it. So first thing we're going to talk about is Bitcoin. Unbelievable. Just 72,605. My trade's up $160,000. And it just goes higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. And if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, you know essentially what my thesis is. If you're new to the channel, well, we'll get into that in just a bit of what my thesis is, but it's safe to say that I believe everybody is targeting way too low for the price targets, and I'll tell you why I believe that is in just a second. By the way, last week was the highest ever weekly close in Bitcoin ever. And Blunt says, and I'm seeing legitimate top calling threads. Yeah, I've seen it too. And you guys, if you're watching a bunch of other channels, you might see other influencers calling for top signals like, huh? Weekly change in Bitcoin holdings of US ETFs. So last week, 33,614 Bitcoin swooped off the market. Look at these numbers, guys. They're staggering. Staggering. Let's not forget, right? There's only 21 million that could ever be minted, and between 4 and 6 of them haven't moved or gone forever. And so we're really talking about somewhere, around 18 or so million Bitcoin. And this is just the beginning. This is the first real institutional product, the Bitcoin spot ETFs in America, that got this ball rolling, but I can promise you it is far from the last. I love Fred's post. If you guys aren't following Fred Krueger, make sure you do that. So the Bitcoin ETF should have a trillion plus in them, not 15 billion. The number is wrong. Think about it. The US bond market is 51 trillion. The Chinese bond market, 21 trillion. Japanese market, 13 trillion. French, 4 trillion. And that's just the top 4 bond markets. The world is flush with liquidity. The US stock market is $50 trillion, in no small part because of the money printing. The Bitcoin ETF is the only real hedge against all this money printing. It's next generation gold, which gold itself is a $15 trillion size. And you're telling me that the number is in the tens of billions, huh? We're off by orders of magnitude. I couldn't agree more. And if you guys remember, for a while back, I interviewed James Seyfarth, who's Eric's partner over at Bloomberg Intelligence in the ETF division. And when we had that interview, James is pretty conservative, and they're conservative calls for Eric and James about how much demand there was going to be for these products, the ETFs. And Eric says, first 2 months officially in the books. It felt like 6. And the 10 Bitcoin ETFs now have over $55 billion in assets, with exactly double that in volume at 110 billion. If these were the numbers at the end of the year, I'd call them a success. To do it in 8 weeks is simply absurd. I mean, it's blowing everybody's mind, right? And here comes Cathie Wood, talking about her. Let's listen.
Your price target for Bitcoin is bull case north of 1 million US dollars. So if you had that bull case for more than 1 million USD Bitcoin, has your forecast timeline to reach that price now shortened?
Yes, that target, what we evolved in, it was before the SEC gave us the green light. And I think that was a major milestone, and it has pulled forward the timeline. One thing I will say, right now, no wirehouse, so whether we're talking about Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch, B of A, or UBS or Wells Fargo, no platform has approved Bitcoin yet. So all of this price action has happened before they approve it. And so, we haven't even begun.
So what's your timeline for 1 million USD Bitcoin now? And is there perhaps a price target beyond that now?
Yes, our target is above that. We've got a 2030 target. So it's well above that. And with our new expectations for institutional involvement, the incremental price that we assume for institutions actually has more than doubled. So, I don't want to give out any particular prices, but because we don't know how quickly the more independent registered investment advisors in the United States, those platforms are saying, give us 3 months to do our due diligence. The others are saying we need at least 6 months. So, I would put those in the institutional bucket as well.
But in your view, Cathie, all of the factors are moving the price of this in an upwards trajectory.
Yes.
See, I think that everybody that knows what's going on is afraid to publicly say what they believe the actual price targets are, because people who don't get it are going to think that they're crazy, right? Like if you tell somebody that Bitcoin's going to $10 million, they're just going to instantly discredit you but you can tell, like, that's Cathie's like, yeah, it's a lot more than $2 billion. Let's get through some more Bitcoin stuff and I'll tell you kind of my thesis here.
That there's a lot of merit to it. There's a lot of opportunity. It is a great store, and this is where you can debate. Is it a good store?
But you know how it's made. A bunch of computers figure out.
But but the issue is if people believe that it can be an asset that can be cross-border. Right. And let's be clear, if you're in a country where you're fearful of your government, and maybe this is one of the reasons why China has banned it. Mm-hmm. If you're in a government where if you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, or you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits.
Like us.
I'm not going to go there.
So the little elephant in the room here.
Yeah. You could say this is a great potential long-term store of value. And as I said, it's like digital gold. And I believe...
But you still can't buy a slice of pizza with it. Isn't that kind of odd that we're...
But you can't buy a price of pizza with palladium or gold.
No, but there you can do stuff with them. I can get stuff. I mean, people use gold for stuff, right?
But you could buy and sell your Bitcoin, no different than gold. So it is very...
What is it? But gold is put in like...
Jewelry.
And iPhones, I think there's in some electronics, there's gold.
It's more silver and nickel.
But you see what I'm saying? There are practical uses.
Very
Bitcoin,
practical.
It's literally a ledger. Right?
It is a ledger. But it's an international ledger. It's cross-border. It's bigger than any government.
I agree with you. It would have blown up, I believe, in FTX, and it didn't after FTX.
It blows my mind that some people still are so clueless about Bitcoin in general and the trajectory it's headed, and just generally clueless. Good news is, guys, Trump has kind of really been switching his tune up lately. Take a listen to this.
I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or will let people get involved in a new. It's, if you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency. I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way. But I will tell you, it has taken on a life. I did a thing that people smile at, but it was wild. We did 1,000 sneakers, so limited edition sneaker run. The last one, and you could go through, our crazy new currencies, because that's what I call them. They're crazy, whether it's Bitcoin or others. And so many people were buying these things. And ultimately, the last pair of sneakers sold for approximately, I hear, $450,000. It was a limited edition, a run. They were gold. They were, nice, cute. And we thought it was just a very small thing. It was a branding thing, and had a good time with it. The last pair sold for $450,000. People were going crazy for these sneakers. You probably were too. Everybody.
That's why. And that's why we bought the Trump coin, ladies and gentlemen, because he's just a character. But the good news is that it looks like Trump is probably going to win this next election. And I'm not saying that's good from a political perspective. I'm just saying like his tone is changing to be more open to Bitcoin and crypto. We know that Biden has not really been super supportive. And so that's good that Trump is changing his tone. Also hopefully makes your meme coin pump even more. So this is unbelievable news. Like, where does this guy get all of his money? So Justin, MicroStrategy just bought another $821 million worth of Bitcoin. It now holds 205,000. Bought it for $8.9 billion. MicroStrategy is now $7.7 billion in profit. A return of 112% so far as Bitcoin breaks new all-time highs this morning of 72,000 and rising toward 100,000. Just so smart. I wish that I could find that kind of money on a regular basis to keep buying in. Okay, so this is Whale Panda says, I'm seeing quite a few people talking about a major pullback or even a local top here. Saylor is going to be buying 800 million, and ETFs are buying up 500 million per day. And you guys are still talking about the top. Oh yeah, and 37 days until halving. This relentless bid by BlackRock and Fidelity is not going to stop, right? And so you have that much buy pressure. You got retail coming back into the market. I just don't see how a significant dip can actually be sustained. I don't think so. Breaking. London Stock Exchange to now accept applications for Bitcoin exchange traded funds. So is that something like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. The fact is that we had, last week we talked about Brazil accepting and trading the Bitcoin ETFs, and now we have the London Stock Exchange. There's also one more I forgot to put in the tabs here, and I'm not going to look for it right now, but is the sovereign, like the, not sovereign wealth, but like the prince or whatever of, is it Qatar? Went down to El Salvador to meet President Bukele or whatever. And obviously that's to go talk about Bitcoin. So local media in Hong Kong reported the 10 financial institutions have planned to apply for launch Bitcoin and spot ETFs. The industry said that the industry said that if ETH products can be launched earlier than the United States, Hong Kong will have opportunity to transform from follower to leader. So basically there's 10 financial institutions, like there was 10 that apply in the US. likely going to get their spot ETF approved as well. And while it might not bring as much volume as America, it'll be probably at least half as much. And so we're going to increase the rate of adoption like that. So Wu Blockchain says cryptocurrency investment platforms, Mudrex, will offer a US Bitcoin ETF to institutional and retail investors in India. Initially, listing ETFs from BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, Mudrex is backed by Y Combinator, and it has substantially registered with Financial Investigation Department of India. So we know that now ETFs are available in several kind of smaller countries. We know that it's available in El Salvador, in where is this? Wait, yeah, sorry, India. India. Sorry, guys, it's very, very late. And oh no, I'm frozen. Oh, why? Sorry, guys. It's horrible. Okay. All right, so let me set up. So this is pretty damn impressive. And step aside Silver and Facebook or Meta, because coming in at number 8 with the largest assets in the world is Bitcoin. Look, not far away from taking over Alphabet or Google as well. And it's just a matter of time before it takes out the rest of them too. I am very confident that maybe in the next, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see Bitcoin on the top of this chart one day, not too far into the future. Okay, and then Evan says, it's going to get really weird around here soon. Lower your IQ, bang your head against the wall. Axe says you need to do laughing gas and find ways to fry your brain cells. That is your only chance of outperforming the Zoomers. Basically saying that, like, if you put too much thought into a meme coin, it's probably not going to be successful. Yeah, just kind of blind faith into it is what they're saying there. So I've told you guys before that the capital would flow from AI to memes and then ultimately to gaming coins. We get these narratives every bull market essentially. And that's exactly what happened here, right? These two ones is Sandbox and Illuvium, the biggest gainers. And then, yeah, there's more. It's just basically how things are going to flow. And Miles says, AI, meme coins, and gaming will lead the crypto bull run and go much higher than you think. The reason why is simple, yet something 90% of people's fuck up. If you're serious about changing your life in this bull market, read this thread. We're not going to read it, but proves their point. Boomer TradFi is so FOMO. They're paying 600% premium to buy GSOL or Grayscale Sol, and the Grayscale funds to fund Sol, right? And I'll show you what this did for me in just a bit here, guys, for the end. It's really, I mean, if you don't read that and you don't have FOMO of how to acquire more, then you must not want money. So here's some stats on Ethereum versus Solana, and basically pretty much Solana is beating them on everything, right? So average transaction fee is $23 on ETH and 3 cents on Sol. Daily active addresses, 413,000 on ETH, and this is the strong. It's not 877. It is. I'll click, but I think it's about 250,000. So, and then DEX volume 2.5 billion on both ETH and Sol. So it's definitely catching up. People are becoming more and more bullish on Solana layer 1, less risk, and still fast with plenty of ecosystem built. It's a very good sign. So DC Investor says, TLDR, the SEC killed ICOs and meme coins filled the vacuum. What does he mean by that? Well, I'll tell you. basically, Andrew King from Mechanism, which I enjoy his tweets very much, says meme coin mania really reminds me of the earlier days of crypto where there's a more level playing field for everybody. Most older gen investors that over-index to safe, proven sectors don't have good framework for evaluating good long-term bets here yet, but some are starting to. Many just simply don't get it. I'm happy for everybody that is winning, especially the new generation. Yeah, and so basically it's just leveling the playing field because there's no pre-sales, no VCs. Most things are fair launching, and VCs aren't getting in early, all these kind of things. So yeah, so you get a chance to get on the ground floor on meme coins, which means that you have a good opportunity to do crazy returns. And you guys remember on Friday, what did we talk about? JENSEN. It's JENSEN this is the guy who's the head of the CEO of NVIDIA the entire time. Now, why did I speculate so heavily on this? I have bought quite a bit so far. They don't have a website up. They don't have anything up. But why would there already be anyway, guys, I talked about this Friday at a $12 million market cap. As you can see, this thing went absolutely, like we talked about it right here or something, right? Like right here, whatever. And then it went all up to like over $100 million, like right after we made the video. You guys are nuts. But I wanted to talk to the person who suggested this to me to make sure that there's nothing wrong with this. And so he actually got me on a call with one of the main guys behind the project. And they told me the roadmap and the plan. And it's pretty impressive. And I think that a lot of times you see these meme coins with these kind of charts like this, right? Up, boom, and then kind of down. And then they kind of consolidate and then bam, smash back up again. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing, is way up here soon enough. So, yeah, what do you guys think? You guys bought JENSEN still holding? It's crazy to wake up and see like a 10x, right? Overnight. So Trump has flipped Bowden, says Ryan Selgus. These are the top 10 Bowden Trump meme coin derivatives by market cap from what I can see. And, they're not all that big, but you've got like Donald Trump, Joe Bowden, Elizabeth Warren, Taylor Swift, etc., etc. Okay, next is, guys, this is going to be great if this happens. So I don't know if you guys have seen this new ball that they put up in Las Vegas, but you can put like images or video in there. And so somebody decided to make essentially like a GoFundMe to make sure that Whiff's cute little mug can get on this dome in Las Vegas. And they need $650,000 in total. They've got $345,000 so far. I think they're definitely going to do it. If you guys want to contribute, whiff-spheres-vertical.app. But again, I love this meme, like Whiff. I just like it. So that would be fun to go check out. When this dog was on, I think in Central Time or something like that, the price pumped like 2 or 3x. So if this happens, it will be quite exciting. Quite exciting indeed. So, okay, so Unipix says, I think we get explosive cat season this cycle, like GCR prophesized. I've been buying some cat coins, right? And then, and this is the exact same question that I asked myself like 8-9 months ago. Like, why are there no cat memes? Isn't it logical to add cat bags also? And then here are some of the cat memes on Solana. You've got Wen, Popcat, Cat with Hat, What, Solana, Upside Down Cat, blah, 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 blah. And you guys remember the one I've told you about before. I actually just talked to the team earlier today on this one, and there's some pretty great plans going on with Nyan or Nyan. It doesn't look amazing right now. I mean, for the whole entire bear market, it was basically sitting at like 1 million. And so now it's at 5. But I would say look forward to some good updates in about 2 weeks or so. And I'm excited for what they're doing. I think that I didn't get to hear the whole plan, but I do think it's going to be quite good. And cat memes are all the new alpha coming into them. And then, like, actually, it's very surprising, right? I looked it up, and I think you can look it up now. What are more popular worldwide, dogs or cats? And the answer is, believe it or not, cats. I guess that's interesting. But now I just want to bring up quickly Xerox leverage, because today it hit new all-time highs, which is amazing. It's a great product. You guys know I've been talking about it forever. And it's a slow start, 12 million, but they're building the right way, hitting the goals and deliverables, and achieving all-time highs. So fantastic job, XeroXL. Congratulations. And SOL still down 50% from previous all-time highs, while Bitcoin has already cleared all-time highs convincingly, genuinely so free. So it was actually, this is from Ansem, and actually, like literally 10 minutes ago, before I started this video, I put in this Solana long here, which it's doing good, up $2,000. You can see my ETH is doing well. I've actually upped my position in most of these things. I upped my position in Bitcoin, upped my Ethereum position, and then now just opened this Solana position as well. I mean, that's interesting, right? Like, so where's it? Oh yeah. So Moon says the top 30 trending coins right now are all on Solana. All-time highs are coming sooner than you think, and it's still 50% down from Solana's all-time highs. So to me, I mean, we've been talking about so much on this channel, right? About how bullish we are on Solana and how it's going to pump and undervalued and blah, blah, blah. So guys, that is going to wrap it up today. I'm sorry. I caught myself a couple times basically zoning out. It is 6:13 in the morning right now. It's been a long day. It is the bull market, but it is very, very, very exciting to see Bitcoin at 72,400. I want to leave you with one thing here. Oh, there's my frozen face. I can't even do this beautiful outro here. Here we go. So leave you with one thing, guys, to take away right now. A lot of people are expecting that Bitcoin does some sort of cyclical thing, right? I keep hearing people talk about a left translated cycle where everything happens much quicker, much sooner, right? Price goes up to like, whatever, and if it's at like $140,000 or something, and then it just like ends sooner, right? But people are looking and just trying to use past cycles as indicators of how we're going to perform here. But what's happening right now, as you can see, we've talked about on the channel before, Bitcoin ETFs here, the biggest wirehouses still aren't in the market yet. The Bitcoin spot ETF is just now available in Brazil, and you got the top 10 institutions applying for ETFs in Hong Kong. You've got the London Stock Exchange. Like, you've got Qatar. I don't know. I didn't share it today, but Qatar went down to a sheikh from Qatar went to go see President Bukhari in El Salvador. What do you think they're talking about, right? And it doesn't take a genius, but sometimes it just takes being in the space, I guess, long enough to understand what's going on here. And what is going on here, guys, is what's supposed to be happening with Bitcoin, it's actually happening, right? What do you think Satoshi imagined when he created Bitcoin? He didn't, I think he even said it in something, this is going to be huge or it's going to be zero. It's going to be everything or it's going to be nothing. And I've been speculating for a long, long time that this will become the world reserve currency. And so as more and more countries, ultra high net worths, companies like Michael Saylor's, retail, as people continue to buy, the price is going to continue to go up. There's going to be more and more FOMO. And people are going to look at their alternatives. What are the alternatives? Cash? Well, that's being devalued at a rapid rate. In fact, everything is poorly conducted or appreciated compared to Bitcoin. So in my mind, it's not a question of which countries are going to adopt Bitcoin into the reserves, or which institution and financial institution or enterprise will buy Bitcoin and put it on their balance sheets, or which investment firms will have Bitcoin and crypto as part of their diversified portfolio. It's not if any of these things are going to happen. It is just a question of when will they happen. And so I believe, we're still 37 days away from the halving, and we're smashing every day all-time highs. And the buying is not letting up. It's just going to continue and continue and continue. And I heard someone the other day say, like, they think Bitcoin's going to $140,000, and that's it. Like, on what planet are you living on to think that's going to $140,000 this cycle? Like, this is going to be adopted, in my opinion, this cycle by pretty much the entire globe. And what that means is that Bitcoin itself is going much, much, much higher. Now, everyone always says that the best performing cryptos in the bull run are always altcoins. And that's probably true in this season, but not all altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin. And so with Bitcoin, you can feel, in my mind, quite comfortable allocating a large percentage of your net worth into it and feel very comfortable and very safe with that, and I don't think it's going to take very long for Bitcoin to get to $1 million. I know that sounds crazy, but if you think about all the things that I've been saying, it's extremely likely, right? And so from here, we still have like another 13x or something like that. And so if you can make 13x in your investment and keep it, that's very, very good, right? You hear on crypto Twitter and YouTube all the time, people doing 50x's and this and that. But like, when those things happen, people are not allocating massive amounts of money to something, right? They're always they know it's gambling on ultra low caps. And so they're being more conservative. With Bitcoin, like Michael Saylor, you can go as hard as you possibly can, as heavy as you possibly can, and feel safe and okay about it. And I think people are going to understand that and be more aggressive. And I just think that this is the new normal right now until we have a broad adoption around the world. So with that being said, there's some of you out there who I think don't hold any Bitcoin at all. And I would encourage you to try to do that, right? Because there's a possibility that this cycle extends way beyond the typical market cycle length. And maybe there's a case where altcoins actually run their cycle and crash, and Bitcoin mostly holds steady. I think that these things could happen. So anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up today. I hope that you found this valuable. I'm sorry that I was so tired, but I enjoyed being here and hanging out with you guys. I will catch you tomorrow. Bye-bye.